Hello everyone, you're with me Nadia Nazir from tvsarawak.com. These are the headlines for today. More funds for RMM. Utilise internet rural folk told. Health, disease, cancer and accidents top killers in the country. Housing Minister Dato' Amar Abang Johari Tun Openg is confident the state's housing allocation, especially for affordable housing (RMM), will be increased in the upcoming Budget 2015. Speaking to reporters after officiating the Takaful Ikhlas Berhad's program Korban Perdana at Darul Hana Patingan Mosque, Dato' Abang Johari said he has personally requested for the housing allocation to be increased. Also present were Works Minister and Putrajaya MP Datuk Fadilah Yusof, Takaful Ikhlas Berhad Malaysia Chief Executive Officer Abdul Latif Abu Bakar and Chairman Sharkawi Alis. In acknowledging that house buyers in the state often find it difficult to obtain housing loans from banks, he indicated that an initiative would be enforced to tackle the problem through the establishment of Mutiara Mortgage and Finance, which would provide financing for RMM. He also said that this ministry currently has an initial fund of 15 million ringgit to provide loans for those who can't obtain the loans from banks. Senator Datuk Doris Sophia Brody has advised the rural community to embrace the internet so that they could be more exposed to opportunities. She said those who excelled in ICT skills would stand a better chance of acquiring the latest information as well as other opportunities. With modern internet life becoming inevitable, she hoped young users would not abuse cyberspace by indulging in social network sites such as Facebook and Twitter. She said that the internet should serve as a means to make oneself more knowledgeable. Senator Datuk Dr. Sim Kui Hian said heart disease is the #1 killer taking away the lives of many Malaysian patients. He said the second killer disease is cancer, followed by fatal accidents as killer #3. Speaking on health at Serian Community Hall last Sunday, Datuk Dr. Sim said statistics show Malaysia has the highest number of diabetics, those with high cholesterol and high blood pressure in the whole of Southeast Asia. Diabetes, high cholesterol and high blood pressure are most likely the causes of complications related to the heart, he said. Datuk Dr. Sim, who is a heart specialist, said symptoms of a heart attack could be heartache on the left side and sweating. He added that age, gender and family heredity were also amongst the causes of heart attack. Lifestyle and habits like smoking, obesity and lack of exercise are root causes, but all these could be controlled, Dr. Sim pointed out. Dr. Sim also advised the public to take less sugar and salt and, if possible, quit smoking in order to avoid heart-linked diseases. Cebu continues to record the highest number of dengue cases in the state, said Assistant Minister of Public Health Datuk Dr. Jerib Susil. Citing latest statistics, he said 40 of the 84 dengue cases reported across the state were from Cebu. This is due to many stagnant drains such as in Jalan Oya, coupled with rainy season, he added. He said that Cebu's health department has taken measures to counter this problem, including weekly fogging and house visits. Second in the dengue report list is Muka, followed by Betong. Moving on to Malaysian news. The first batch of 61 Malaysians have left Sana'a, the capital of Yemen, for Malaysia in 3 separate flights. Wisma Putra said in a statement that the first 2 groups of 41 evacuees are expected to arrive in KL International Airport at 8:55 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. on Tuesday. The statement said the government decided to bring back the Malaysians in view of the current situation in Yemen and as a precautionary measure. The National Security Council and the Foreign Ministry, together with the Embassy of Malaysia in Sana'a, are working closely in coordinating the exercise. Yemen's latest conflict occurred following the battle between the Houthis movement and the military that saw the rebels seizing important institutions in the capital city. The Foreign Ministry also advised all Malaysians to avoid or postpone all unnecessary travel to Yemen due to the current situation, which it said remained fluid. Malaysians who require assistance can contact the Malaysian Embassy in Yemen via 0096 714 29781 and 0096 714 29782 or email mwsanaa@kln.gov.my. The hunt for missing Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 entered a new phase yesterday with the resumption of the underwater search for the aircraft, officials said. Until now, experts had been concentrating on mapping the seabed in the southern Indian Ocean search zone, where the plane carrying 239 people is thought to have crashed in March. The Malaysian contracted Go Phoenix vessel has now arrived in the area and begun its work scanning the ocean floor for the jet, the Australian Transport Safety Bureau said. Australia has been spearheading the hunt for the plane, which is believed to have hit the ocean after mysteriously diverting off course from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing and running out of fuel. The search for MH370 has been frustrated by a lack of solid information about the jet's final hours in the vast and largely unexplored area in which it is presumed to have crashed. This survey, which has mapped some 110,000 square kilometers of the remote area since May, has paved the way for the work of the Go Phoenix that will conduct a deep water side scan sonar search. The Go Phoenix will tow sensitive underwater equipment over the seabed in the hunt for irregularities such as large parts of the aircraft that could still be intact, like the engines and fuselage, the ATSB has said. Australian authorities have said they are cautiously optimistic that the plane will be located in the refined search zone, although they have said the process could take up to a year. Australia and Malaysia are jointly funding the underwater search, which will also include 2 other vessels, Fugro Discovery and Fugro Equator, from later this month. The Communication and Multimedia Ministry is gravely concerned about the promotion of violence and terrorism through the internet and hence is monitoring activities in the social media closely, said its Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Syabari Cheek. However, he said it was not easy to keep track of every social website which could be freely and indiscriminately misused as a tool or platform for undesirable activities. He said the tedious task in monitoring social websites for violence and terrorism was further compounded by the existence of dark sites as they are locked with special codes known only to those with interest. Missing combat boat CB204 has been found after 31 hours at sea, and its 7 Royal Malaysian Navy officers were safe and well but hungry. RMN Chief Admiral Tan Sri Abdul Aziz Jaafar said while on its search 129 nautical miles northwest of Kota Kinabalu, Navy ship KD Ganas suddenly picked up a distress call at about 3 p.m. yesterday. Apparently, CB204 experienced engine and steering gear problems and was adrift 30 nautical miles of the Navy security post. It was found close to the Malaysian station uniform in the Spratly Atoll. CB204, captained by Lieutenant Azri Bakar, departed from the Kota Kinabalu Navy base with Navy ship KD Paus at 5 a.m. on Sunday, en route to Gugusan, Samarang, Peninjau. 5 hours later, KD Paus relayed a message that both the vessels would turn back due to bad weather. However, at 11:15 a.m., KD Paus said it lost sight of and communication with CB204. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak was grateful to God after learning that the crew of the Royal Malaysian Navy combat vessel CB204 were safe. Heading to global news. China is waging an aggressive cyber war against the United States, which costs American businesses billions of dollars every year, said Federal Bureau of Investigation Director James Comey. The FBI chief told CBS Television's 60 Minutes program China topped the list of countries seeking to pilfer secrets from US firms, suggesting that almost every major company in America had been targeted. Annual losses from cyber attacks launched from China were impossible to count, Comey said, but measured in billions. Asked which countries were targeting the United States, Comey replied that China is the top in the list. Comey cited the historic case of 5 members of China's People's Liberation Army indicted with hacking US companies for trade secrets, a move which outraged China when announced in May. The case is the first ever federal prosecution of state actors over cyber espionage. The PLA unit is accused of hacking into US computers to benefit Chinese state-owned companies, leading to job losses in the United States in steel, solar, and other industries. Last week, big bank JP Morgan Chase revealed that a hack it had reported in August had compromised data on 76 million household customers and 7 million businesses, including their names, email addresses, and telephone numbers. The Singapore government has made the productivity drive a national effort where everyone has to play their part, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong said at the launch of the National Productivity Month, to put pressure on employers to upgrade their workers' skills rather than simply hiring extra bodies. The government is controlling foreign worker inflows, he said. Still, firms are getting enough access to foreign workers to complement their Singaporean workforce. This is because if the government allows too few foreign workers or frees their numbers, some businesses, especially the smaller ones, will not survive. Many Singaporeans' jobs would then disappear. Citing the latest manpower numbers, Mr. Lee said efforts to control foreign worker inflows are bearing fruit. Foreign worker growth has slowed significantly to the lowest level in 5 years and is now at a more sustainable level, about where we want it to be. Singapore is taking a 3-pronged approach to improving productivity in local firms, Mr. Lee said. Number 1, foreign worker inflows are being controlled to put pressure on employers to upgrade their worker skills rather than simply hiring more people. Number 2, incentives and schemes help support companies raise their productivity, be it by investing in technology, trainee workers, or streamlining of operations. There are also schemes tailored to companies in individual sectors, which companies can tap on to make productivity and innovation improvements and to upgrade their workers. Number 3, the government has also made the productivity drive a national effort, he said. Companies must adopt a productivity mindset and not be afraid to implement technological solutions and change business processes to improve efficiency. Education and training institutions have to equip workers with relevant skills, while workers themselves must hone and upgrade their skills, as well as to help to identify problems at work and improve work processes, Mr. Lee said. A South Korean naval ship fired warning shots on Tuesday after a North Korean patrol boat crossed a disputed sea border of the peninsula's west coast and fired shots back before retreating, a South Korean defense official said. There were no casualties on the South Korean side and none of the shots by either side was aimed at the other's vessel. It was the latest in the series of similar altercations near Yeonpyeong Island, which was bombed by the North in 2010 2010, killing 4 people, including 2 civilians. The area near Yeonpyeong has been the scene of clashes in the past that killed scores of sailors on both sides, with North Korean vessels frequently crossing the so-called Northern Limit Line, which it refuses to recognize as the maritime border. The standoff came after a surprise visit by the highest-level delegation by North Korea at the weekend, comprised of top military aid to the North's leader Kim Jong-un, who met South Korean officials. The attack led to the South cutting off all political and commercial exchange with the North, except for a factory zone in the North Korean city of Kaesong, where South Korean companies operate manufacturing facilities. In recent years, Seoul has allowed small private groups to visit the North, mostly on humanitarian and religious trips. And that wraps up our news for today. I'm Nadia Nazir from tvsarawak.com. Goodbye and have a pleasant day.